Talk to me, Goose. I know you had some interesting news about the deWeb.
Yeah.
Share with me. What's going on?
So deWeb is this new platform that's come out that really kind of allows the framework to be built for communities and even tokenomics and aspects related to that. So we're one of the providers. Nations, I think, provides it, and Blackstart as well. But,
okay.
So we're one of the first providers out there. And so what the general concept is I guess let's explain the first fundamental problem. So if you created a token, just like your own EOS token or whatnot, and you went and you threw it out on the market for it to be traded and be able to publicly get, there's no liquidity pool, there's nothing really giving value to your token, therefore you can get crushed very easily early on. Somebody just rage dumps and just smashes the market. So part of what they've done is using the Bancor liquidity engine or Bancor engine and all those contracts have set it up to where you can have a tokenomics and build your own token, and it builds in behind the scenes using Bancor all of the liquidity reserves and handles all of either keeping it as a stable coin and making sure it's always one-to-one, or even a programmable, okay, you don't want to keep 100% liquidity. Once it gets established and there's enough people coming in and out of it, you would, more drop it down to maybe 50%. Or what's an interesting stat is when you actually get down to like real, the mainstream cryptocurrencies, the actual liquidity that's on exchanges in the long run and moving listed as orders. It may be in an exchange, but if it's not listed for a sell order, it's not truly liquid. So there's only like 5-6% of most of the tokens at any given time as active orders. So when you really get down to it, having even 50% liquidity pool would make a big difference just in the inability to wreck a token by ravaging the price. All right, and what we've done on our token is I've actually pegged it as more so a stable coin. So if you buy in at $1, your reserve dollar is always held. If you sell your coin, you get said dollar back minus a transaction fee, because we got to do things on the EOS blockchain.
I gotcha.
Anyway, long story short, it's kind of designed as a framework to help people maybe create their own tokens and wrap communities and stuff around them without having to go through the trouble of really building your own token from scratch. Because once you build your token, that's easy. Getting it listed and keeping it valuable is an absolute next level tokenomics, or whatever you want to call it.
Sure.
That's really a lot of the sweet sauce behind it. It has what they call their revenue engine, and I'll get into some of it, that as you own tokens, there may be reasons you can earn more tokens, or as the life cycle continues. So anyway, long story short, the framework of it is there's kind of this built-in tokenomics aspect. So you can create a token, and what do you do with the token? You have a community, you have a group per se. And so what it has started with, and adding more features every week, is it has discussion boards, so you can post a discussion in there, and then you can, collaborate back and forth, and even for free. You can post for free and you can respond for free. But similar, like I think the voice concept is, it actually has upvoting at the top, where if you have EOS USA tokens, you can upvote that post, which would slide it higher in the list, and also be able to put your own information into there. And then somebody else outvotes you for it, and you work your way up. It gets a little more expensive to outvote the person before you. But the idea is that, the active posts and the ones that are in front of people, you would, get your things out there. The way it also works is that, say you pay 10 EOS USA tokens for the upvote, and then I want to come in and upvote on top of you for 13 EOS tokens, or EOS USA tokens. It gives you 11 EOS USA tokens.
It is similar to voice.
And, it ratchets its way up. It also goes a little bit to the post creator. It shards some off to, if you created the content that generated the viral comments or whatever, you in theory would get a little sliver of that upvoting on your post. So you're making money as the poster. There's marketers and things along that line. But anyway, so the upvoting aspect is part of how the discussion boards and all kind of get into revenue generating aspects of things. If, either you as the poster can generate revenue, either maybe the token reserves themselves.
That sounds so different from what we talked about a second ago with the creating a new coin or token and having it being liquid. So where do those two combine? Is the
Why do you make a token? For what purpose? Is your purpose to have a community?
Okay.
To do revenue sharing with your community? To have polls of your community based off of how much skin do you have in my community game? So that's another piece.
So it starts with a community token with liquidity, and then deWeb also provides you the ability to communicate as a community.
Okay. Well, what are you using this token for? And you can use the token for anything you particularly wanted, but it's designed to kind of bring it more to the layman. Is that yes, on EOSIO, I can do it all via command line, and fire off the transactions.
I get that. I'm extremely excited about it. Yeah.
That's what we were all sold on, that EOS can do.
Right.
But we all agree a couple years into it, the interfaces, by no means, obviously, are there.
Okay.
And even beyond that, fine. I'm pretty sure there are interfaces for create your own token. Go get it listed on Nudex. Good luck keeping... whatever it lists as, it's going to get crushed as soon as you list any token. Go look at any token at the beginning of its life, and
Bancor
just gets crushed.
Right, and we've seen that. And Bancor is what's going to create the liquidity.
Correct. Well, and that's part of the whole aspect of it. And what really creates the liquidity is the aspect that when you buy a token in, it puts it into a reserve, and it uses the Bancor tokens and all of that engine to do that. But for the sake of the argument, if you send $1 to buy some EOS USA tokens, that dollar sits in a reserve 100% on our token based off of the token creator's idea. It could be at 99%. It could be whatever. And I'll get into some of the tokenomics on that. But the idea is that you can, whatever you buy in at, in theory, you buy it. That's a stable coin. Sure. Now, obviously, it's call it 99.9 because there's some transactions, and you got to pay the piper to host the services because I got bills to pay. But
so let's just say hypothetically, I buy 10 EOS USA tokens, and that's $10 because you've pegged it to the dollar, and that was an option you had in the beginning to create your own token.
Yeah, they all start at $1, so
okay, cool.
Give or take.
So then what would happen is the $10 that I gave to deWeb, right, through the Bancor algorithm. The Bancor algorithm sort of holds that liquidity for me.
It's sitting on our deWeb smart contract, actually.
As a block producer.
Pegged, as a deWeb provider.
As a deWeb provider, I'm sorry.
Ultimately, we published a contract that handles the back end of the deWeb services and everything, and one of those services it handles, if you go and look, there is it's like a USDB or something like that. It's one of their Bancor protocol tokens.
Yeah.
But it's being held in a reserve 1-to-1, basically.
I think it's phenomenal.
So
okay, so then if somebody else comes in, you come in, you're like, I want 10 too. So you put in $10 and you get 10 tokens.
So
now there's 20 tokens out, and there's $20 in liquidity sitting
reserve.
there because you claimed you wanted it at 100% liquidity.
I pegged it basically as a stable coin. I said, don't ever let the liquidity slip below 100.
Okay.
And don't ever do anything to distribute out of the liquidity pool.
Right.
It's two sides of it. And the reason I mention that is think about the concept of as the progression of a token hopefully succeeds, well, you don't have to keep 100% liquidity. All right, maybe everybody's okay with 90% liquidity. What do you do with that extra 10%?
Because not everybody's wanting to cash in at the same time.
Well, at least it's stable enough to where if you wouldn't expect more than maybe 90% of the tokens to be cashed out at any given time.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Right, sure.
Yeah, how much? That's what your liquidity percentage.
But to start, if I wanted to cash out my 10 tokens, I could, and the liquidity's there because it's 100%.
On ours, it's always 100%.
Okay.
But let's say that we take off and there's millions of dollars worth of EOS USA tokens out there.
Okay. The community grows.
Yeah. Nobody's going to rage dump all $100 million worth of EOS USA tokens. Maybe we should throttle that back to like a 90% reserve.
Okay.
What do you do with the extra reserve? You can set up an allowance that says, if there's any surplus generated outside of what has to be reserved in the liquidity pool, distribute it
back to the
token holders.
Correct.
So there's multiple different aspects you can do that. One is going from 100% all the way down. Say you go all the way to 6% like a real actual, top 10 crypto. That was referencing the comment
I know it's
before,
funny to think about now because you're right. The liquidity of any coin at any given time is very low.
I didn't even, like I said, the deWeb guys were kind of enlightening me on that. Is that I didn't even think about that. And again, it's not being on an exchange. There's a crap load of tokens on an exchange. It's being listed as an active order at any given time because that's technically liquidity.
Sure.
Yes, you could create sell orders, or buy orders, but it's not there yet. So anyway, but on the flip side of it is that was starting at 100 and saying, okay, we've succeeded, we're working our way backwards. What if you never got to reserve below 100, but you were able to add things into the coffer. Like for instance, there's reserve being built up for the upvotes and stuff like that. You know, they go back to the operator and things like that. Well, what if we say, hey, we're not going to withdraw any of that. We'll just put it back into the pool. So now the liquidity pool has 101%. Well, maybe I do a distribution until it gets back down to 100%. Anyway,
it's an entire mechanism.
Tokenomics, as I refer to it. I don't know if that's the official term or not. That's
I
what
love it.
generalize
I love it. I
But
use that a lot. Yeah.
We all knew phase one of it is EOS could do it. This kind of says, all right, well, we figured out where everybody had issues with. Right. I mean, A, fine, create a token. Poof, done easy on EOS. Now what? List it. Ooh, that's a whole nother concept. And then now what else? Use it.
Right.
Now you have to write a JavaScript app that, can
well,
tie into
someone's
it
going to be
and
much more likely to buy into an EOS USA coin, knowing that the liquidity is there, that they can get their money back out, that it's not an investment per se.
Right. It's not even designed as an investment. It's more designed, in our case, as a.
But what you're saying is, if 1 million people bought EOS USA coins, one apiece, that's 1 million coins outstanding, and of those million, so there's $1 million of liquidity inside the Bancor algorithm, and of those 1 million people, chances are very slim that all 1 million go after their withdrawals at the same time. Therefore, you could sustain the liquidity with much less, potentially even as far down as 6%, which is insane. But you would be distributing that $1 million back out to the token holders.
Right, and then
is that the only way that the token can appreciate?
Well, no, and so the Bancor algorithm then automatically starts adjusting based off of your liquidity and getting outside of my feeble minding of it. But the price of your coin that it knows ultimately is going up. So if you start, and again, like I say, but yes, you can go and look at tokens that ours is $1, it will stay at $1 because there's no in and out. But there are other tokens that are listed that it's now $1.03, because to buy in, to get one token, to fill the liquidity pool, you have to put more into it. Okay. So anyway, long story short, but I don't understand it because they do all the magic sweet sauce behind the scenes. Sure, but it's part of that Bancor algorithm about the liquidity and the price adjustment and all of that.
That's really cool. Very cool.
Again, the whole point is that let's say you as a YouTuber, yes, you have super nerds like us, but let's say you don't, and you wanted to have your own token, and you wanted to have discussions and polls and things like that, and even potentially revenue sharing. If I go and I buy a bunch of tokens and then burn them, I've ultimately over liquidated, or increased the liquidity above 100%, and therefore it could be dispersed. You can even use it as a distribution mechanism by simply pumping money into it from wherever.
Oh my God.
That makes sense?
Yeah. So anyway, you could take some of your profits, right, from the upvoting. Anything.
You can take it from a side chain, sell it out, and ultimately get
buy
it over
EOS USA coin and then burn them.
And so ultimately you've offset.
So now your liquidity is more like 103%.
Correct.
Holy moly.
And then if you're doing revenue distribution, you could, or whatever you want to do. But anyway, the point is all that magic sweet sauce is taken care of behind the scenes. There's a lot of use cases for it, but that's why the first question I ask you is, what do you create a token? What are you doing with the token?
Yeah.
That's the second piece of it. The first piece is that I need to be able to, make it, framework it, get it liquid. You can buy it with EOS. You can just send it to, it's basically our smart contract on EOS. You send it over and you say what token you want to buy off of it, and it Bancor says how much is that token worth based off of the price of EOS and all this, that, and the other, and buys you your token.
So what is it that you're showing me today here? This is deWeb, but it also says deweb.eosusa.
Yeah, so remember, there's two aspects of it. We are a deWeb provider, so we provide the framework for anybody to create their tokens.
Oh, okay.
I was referencing our token because that's my favorite on our platform, and obviously what I'm tending to use and great examples of. But if you go to deweb.eosusa.news, you'll notice and it's rated by the highest reserve balance, I think is how they actually rate it. So there's $31 worth of reserve. So there's 31.2 EOS USA tokens that have been bought by 6 different token holders at this point. And then there's some other tokens down here that, other people are starting to get used to and playing with and things like that. But for what we'll show is that number one, if you want to create a token, if you're in the market to just create a token and play around with it, it's free. You create token, you'll need to create a username. Now, this is not an EOS account. This is not scatter. This is not anything. Right now, it's just a straight up username, less than 12 characters, and a password. Although the next feature that they're releasing is social sign-in. So ultimately, you'll be able to come here, click Google, and
Who's Lala? Join Lala.
I don't know. That's probably just a placeholder. Probably need to relay that to the deWeb team to take the script up. But so ultimately, what it's asking me to do is create an account.
Join
so
Lala. Just now got it.
I know.
I was like,
see, and then so welcome back. So ultimately, I'm going to log in as EOS USA. My account's Mike, and then
I'm not looking.
Oh no, I got it. It's complex. I gotta. I'm more concerned that you keylog it, not just playing.
Just say not now.
Yeah, there you go. So ultimately, because I click the create token, this is the page it was trying to take me to.
Yeah.
So if you want to create a token, this is what it asks you for, and everything else is pretty much plug and play beyond that.
Okay.
Give it a picture. What do you want it to say? What do you want your actual up to 7 character token to be? And then the page of your token, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and cancel here. And we're gonna take you to EOS USA's token.
Okay, so this is an example.
Correct. So,
I see.
I think I have.
So we host it, but we also have a coin.
Correct,
on
I have a
is what
coin
it
over
says. So
here.
we're like an example.
So here's the description. You ever wanted to have a way for EOS USA, to get your information out there and contribute to the community? Fine. Tell me what you vote on, which projects you want us to do next, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Come and collaborate. Tell me how much it sucks. Tell me how awesome it is. I don't care. I mean, but come hang out. You know what I mean? Community. So ultimately, now I'm the admin, so you can hide posts if need be. So that grayed out right there is me testing out the hiding of the post. You can see it says deleted, although it's not really deleted on blockchain. It's always able to come back.
Sure.
Anyway, so
I like your first post.
Yeah.
And so,
so like this is the one that I did this morning. So
for example, if who is this right here?
This is one that I posted this morning.
Okay.
So EOS USA does it again. Put a logo on there. Basically, we deployed the IBC solution to some more chains, and just want to kind of use deWeb to announce it and everything. And so you'll notice is that there's been a couple people that have come in here and posted a reply. You can just come in here, type whatever. You obviously have to have a free account and be able to log in.
Okay.
But you can collaborate with your community for free. You don't have to even be a token holder to be able to do this. You can just come in and just whatever. So like say you wanted to have a discussion board for your YouTube channel or something like that. You're funneling them all over to here. Well, you can have all sorts of discussions, and you don't even have to have anything other than an account, which may just be your Google login, to be able to log in and communicate and do things like that.
Okay.
So there's the general aspect of just discussion board, right?
Right.
But like we were talking about earlier, so you've got this upvote banner. And so you can tell I was the last one to do the upvote. For 22 cents worth of EOS USA tokens, you can outvote me and put your own link and message here and get to the top.
Cool. And you can put your own message there.
Correct. So if I just say I want to upvote.
That's cool.
That was the last one that I posted. I posted it on one of the other posts, but
Okay.
I remember it's the last one that I did. So.
I got you.
Anyway, but if I went in there and just wanted to be able to post it, I could come in here and upvote with 0.2197 EOS USA.
So you can upvote yourself.
In theory, yeah, you can upvote. Yeah, I don't know. Let's try it. And I'll get 19 cents of that back because I was actually the person I just upvoted.
Right. So
somebody else, if you were the one that I just upvoted, you would have gotten your original 18 cents that you upvoted with, plus an extra penny that I just paid you and paid the poster and paid. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So ultimately, so we do that. So I'll show you over here, and this is one of the new features.
Yeah, it said you could update the banner now. That's
so like right here, if I go to my page, you can see it's cost me, I've upvoted for 88 cents. I fired a few out over there. I've made back 36 cents. And as a poster, being the poster of the original content, that's 25 cents of those pennies that fractionalized off. So, you know, I mean, obviously it's me, so it's coming back to me, but as a content poster, even if it's somebody else, if somebody else comes on here and makes the next big article on our board, they will make a penny for every time it gets uploaded or whatever.
Sure.
So, like I say, it's kind of the community
Very
interaction.
interesting. You
So
know,
that's-
I keep imagining my homeowners association for my neighborhood has no good way of communicating. You know what I mean?
It definitely can be used for that. Like I say, I don't know whether I'd get into tokenomics of any of my homeowner associations, only because they'd have to buy a token to get into it. You know what I mean? But I mean, you're on the same content, a community.
What if your homeowners association required you to pay them in homeowners association tokens?
I mean, anything's possible. My point is that I personally would probably avoid it because it's just a whole other layer of complexity to homeowners.
Sure.
Homeowner association, they all are brutal. Anyway,
They're horrible.
So back to some of the other features here. So you got your posts, so the discussion boards and everything. And like I say, as a moderator, I see this grayed out one. But everybody else, if you go to the page, you wouldn't even see our first post anymore. I just used it to hide it. But so you do have a little bit of control, is that if somebody goes in there and posts something they shouldn't,
Okay.
it's on chain technically, but
And we're still
at
in
least you're not
EOS
having to
USA's portal, quote unquote.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm in our token right here.
Okay.
Here's the EOS USA price. I could just straight up buy the token one, you know, send $1 for the EOS or $5 for the EOS or whatever. It also does MoonPay, so you can do some fiat transactions. I don't think they support the US, so I don't think you can do it here. But I just did it all via EOS.
Go back to the original page where there was more.
Other tokens?
Yeah, other tokens. Because other people have created tokens on this
They have.
portal, correct?
They haven't gotten a lot of engagement yet, but
Well,
yeah,
sure,
somebody
sure,
created a WordPress token. Not sure what exactly that's
I'll be
for,
darned.
but
Now, could they access this through anybody's deWeb?
currently, right now, it's based off of our provider, so it's somewhat associated to our account and our services.
Okay.
But it's all on chain, so it can be transferable to another provider.
Okay.
So it's tied to us, but it's easily transferable. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So yeah, it's like saying, well, I'm with Amazon, but yeah, I really kind of just want to pick it up and move it over to Google. That type of thing would work, especially when you have social sign-ins and all of that really bridge our services and their services,
Right.
but we're all running the same type of code.
Sure.
But again, my smart contract is ultimately what's holding the liquidity of the token.
Right.
So you need to transfer some of that over, you know what I mean? Or sell it out, do whatever you want to do.
Right on.
Anyway, so yes, other people have come in here. Like I say, starting to see some people.
Real quick, Binance created their own coin and then made it so that anytime you pay fees for transactions, you pay them in Binance coin, which to me was brilliant because it was an immediate use case for their coin.
Correct.
And their coin has just not gone up in price since.
Yes.
I mean, and to me, that's a good use for someone who creates their own coin, is to then require whatever community you're in to use it.
Yeah, I was about to say, from the Binance integration side, you're talking about super geek stuff. So
Sure. Oh yeah.
I'd say probably do it the command line way, because you're already going to be up underneath the hood doing the command line to do all that other stuff. But yes, if you want, so here's another thing is that, so I talked about the post. One of the other really cool things, one of the first features that came out, is the polls. And so it's not only polls, but it's weighted polls. So of the voters, you know, so 22% of the token holders have voted, and of that percentage, 4 of them, 75% of them, you know, of the tokens voted for this. So if you're a 50% token holder, ultimately you have a much heavier weight in the polls. So the idea is that, you know, how much are you in the system? Therefore, that's what also drives your weight, maybe on polls or other things.
Based on how many tokens you have?
That's yeah, how the poll, I mean, you can vote obviously for anything. I mean, even if you have 0.0001, but the weight of your vote
That's pretty cool.
is tied into the token.
Do you have to pay to vote?
You have to have tokens. It does not cost anything to submit an answer on a poll.
Correct answer.
That makes sense?
Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
So yeah,
that's really cool then.
Well, yeah, and like I say, the idea is that like imagine, like I was saying, you as a YouTuber just say, I've got this channel, you know, and that's great. You can post a comment and then have comments to that video or anything, but it's isolated. I mean, I guess you got a little bit of an interface through YouTube, but imagine if you kind of could just vote, on the bottom of all of your YouTubes or whatever, just send them over. What video do you want to see us do next? What, whatever. And even, okay, fine, content distribution, or start a discussion about the last video that you did and link to that post. Well, then everybody goes in there and has a discussion about your video, and somebody says, man, everybody's coming here. I'm going to upvote. I want to advertise this. I want to advertise this. I want to, get this message out or whatever.
Yeah, that's really cool.
By the way, whoever came and created that original content post was making a little bit of money. So they're going to come back and try to make another thing. There's also marketing roles. So, there's the creator, we're the operator, the marketer who's going out there and saying, hey, you guys should, get involved with all of this. And they can be set up to get a percentage of a sliver, things like that. That's part of that revenue engine, is the whole tokenomics aspect and kind of wrapping it, what I call, around a community, but several use cases. Anyway, so that's you can see the token holders right now. So you can see, we have 1.2 EOS. I've spent some of it. There's a couple of us that have some tokens, and we've been doing upvote wars. So ultimately, we've been going in here and snatching each other's. Yeah, there you go. Like he grabbed Nova Crypto. Patrick from Nova Crypto is because he's got his NCO token. He's he's a EOS Nations ambassador, so he got in on the EOS Nations platform. But we always go back and forth and test things out. But we've been calling it upvote wars, where we go and steal each other's posts and upvote each other's posts. And I'll go over there and be like, boom, come sign up for deWeb over here.
That is cool.
But anyway.
That is cool.
So, and there you go. There was that one that I posted before. Remember, it came up in the history.
So just real quick. So this Sylvian, did I say that right?
I think so. I just met him. He's a YouTuber. I met him. He came to the channel.
This is his token.
No, this is a post on our
I'm
site.
sorry. Okay, this is
I was talking to him last night, explaining it to him, telling him, hey,
So he actually owns some EOS USA token.
He does.
He was able to vote.
Yeah, if I go over here, he's there he is.
Right.
So yeah, like I say, he sent. I'm sure you could look on blockchain and probably figure out, but I assume he probably sent some EOS over, and because it's pretty easy. Like if I say I want to buy the token. You can buy with MoonPay, which I don't particularly use MoonPay, but because I don't think I can here. I obviously go the nerd way, and you can send whatever amount you want to that's our deWeb 1 contract account, and that in the memo, and you'll whatever.
It'll send it back to you.
Oh, you'll get credited. Your EOS will shoot out of your account, and then obviously you'll log into this portal and hit refresh and be like, oh, I got. I don't know, it's about $3 in EOS. So if you sent one EOS, you'd get roughly, 2 point something, 2.8, 2.7 EOS USA tokens.
I'll tell you what, man, there are so many use cases for this.
You'd get 2.78 EOS worth back out as well. It would use the bank. Whenever you go to cash out, it would say, all right, I want to, I think I did that before.
Just a quick thought.
Sell, there it is, sell, and I can sell them out, withdraw to this EOS account, and then whatever memo I want, and ultimately it just fires back through the Bancor liquidity, and then drops it out on an EOS account and says, here's. Now, like I say, there's a little sliver taken off because, kind of it's expensive to do EOS transactions. Not an expensive transaction fee here, but isn't that? Yes, EOS is expensive because they're mining on it, but. Anyway, long story short,
I gotcha.
That's why, like I say, as an operator, I love you guys, but I can't do this all out of the goodness of my heart.
Right.
But anyway.
What comes to mind is like an organization or a company with employees even, right? That's not getting good feedback from their employees because no one wants to get in trouble. This could almost be an anonymous way, right? I'm just talking out loud.
You can, but again, forcing an employer going and asking an employee to buy a token to be able to voice any sort of an opinion or have any whatever. I get where you're going with it, but like I say, I'm more envisioned.
Hang on, which is what I was going to say is the company tops off all the comments.
Okay.
They're paying for feedback.
Did they have to buy a token to get into the community?
They had to buy a token to make their opinion.
They had to buy a token. I'm pretty sure that's illegal. You keep forcing them to go and buy something just to participate. Anyway, I don't know labor laws. Not really important. What I can do is provide the framework. If that's your fancy, do your thing.
Right.
But the idea is that it's programmable. These are the features that they've already built and are adding in, all the time. Notifications and stuff will be coming next. When somebody posts on it, it'll send you like say an email or something like that. But it's also a framework that if you're a coder, you can bolt onto it and do whatever you particularly wanted to. It is a token, and you could use the bank or liquidity and do all of this, that, and the other, and the framework of the contracts and who your accounts are and all of that. Anyway, long story short, I don't know it to that level, but it's kind of designed as a framework, like all the Bancor, Liquid apps, all that. They're big on frameworking it. So, but anyway,
very exciting, sir. Very exciting.
Really kind of interesting aspect. We're probably going to start posting most of our updates on here and linking out to it and just trying to drive any sort of comment or viewing or whatever. And instead of 100 people going and viewing my Medium article a week and them getting paid off of whatever ad comes across the top, somebody can come in there and say, I'll pay 10 cents to have this show up on the top of every single person that, pulls up this post.
Right.
All right.
Right.
Let's see how that works out. And then come post your own.
The tokenomics. Awesome. Very cool. Thank you so much for showing this. This is fantastic, and I'm super glad that EOS USA is a part of it.
Yeah. You should create a clay token.
I will.
Or,
a clay token.
Or there's
Earth token, as in the ground. Clay as in the ground.
Oh yeah, no, I was thinking the first one that I thought about was Q.
Oh, that's a great idea.
I may regret I even said that, but
that's cool. That's cool. Oh my gosh.
You get my point. Is that okay, that's. And it's one thing if you're looking at it as an investment or revenue generation or anything like that. But again, I'm more using it just to vet the concept. You'll see the weekly allowance is 0. It's designed as a stable coin.
So for the average user right now, they need to come to this page with EOS because they can't really buy it here, right?
You can buy it with MoonPay.
Oh,
I
okay.
believe. I don't use MoonPay, but.
Yep, EOS USD. Look at that. I wonder how it works.
Well, I can tell you I've got it set up as MoonPay is a payment processor type of thing, whatever. And we just have it linked with, we've tied in as a...
We as in deWeb?
We as in EOS USA as a deWeb provider or whatever. That's part of the framework. There's the hosting pieces, there's the contract, there's the MoonPay,
Right.
The operator is tying all of this framework and stuff together. They wrote it, I run it, you use it.
Right on. But it's EOS. Period. You start with EOS, not Bitcoin or Ethereum, in other words, is all I'm saying.
This is US dollars. It's on the EOS blockchain, so ultimately you're going into EOS.
Like when they buy EOS USA coin, they're trading EOS for it, right?
You can be trading dollars for it, but ultimately however you came out of your whatever currency, it's got to come into EOS because it's coming into the EOS smart contracts and chain. So, I don't know.
The word deWeb doesn't actually insinuate EOS.io at all. That's why I was asking.
Here you go. So, this is, like I say, MoonPay is the default currency. You can come in and out,
Unbelievable.
So, but MoonPay is more of just, it's a payment provider.
Yeah, man.
So I don't personally use it because, again, I'm not pumping fiat into there. I'm pumping EOS into there.
Right.
So I just use that one. And like I say, Elastium, I never played with that one.
Interesting.
There you go. So I think it's atomic swap type of thing.
Huh.
There you go. So yeah, it's basically taking dollars in and EOS out.
Yeah.
So I don't think you can change the currency. And I'm sure that'll get, a little more advanced going on, but
very cool, man.
The whole point of it is it should be easy to onboard.
Yeah.
Easy to create, easy to onboard, easy to offboard, and easy to use. It's got a slick look and feel. It doesn't look all super intimidating.
Man, I appreciate your explanation because this is not simple. It's becoming simple. Don't get me wrong, the interface is simple, but the concept behind it is mind-blowing.
To understand what you can do with it, but again, it's more, if you can see it in action, maybe, it looks a little different.
Oh, sure.
You get to understand what the sweetness it's bringing as opposed to taking that for granted. And I want to create a token. You have no idea what it's like to create a token on your own. About all
Yeah.
that's similar is I think they've made an interface like this.
Sure.
You know,
This
beyond
is
that,
really cool. Yeah.
good luck. You know, I mean, pay Nudex to get you listed. You know, and then oh, you did all that. Hey, you got minimum volume. You know, I don't know if you realize that, but you get delisted from the Nudex if you don't have volume. So
This changes.
I mean, there's been
everything.
projects that have gone in there on their, game
Right.
coin or whatever and had to just crush the market just to get the volume and crushed it up,
Yeah.
bloated it, just to be able to get the volume to go through to keep it listed because Nudex will kick you out of there. You know who does
Yeah.
it? deWeb. Your liquidity pool is your liquidity pool. I don't care, trade, whatever. Hadn't been not a lot of people that bought EOS USA. Guess what? Ain't nobody gonna delist EOS USA.
Right. Right. And you still want your money back? It's right there.
It'll show up in an EOS account whenever you click do it.
Thanks, bro. Thank you for the heads up.
Hey, no problem. Like I say, it's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah. And thank you guys for watching. We appreciate your time. And if you have any questions about deWeb, feel free to leave those in the comments, and Michael or I will get to it. Probably Michael, because he's the authority here. Very cool. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time.